Ladies and gentlemen, warm greetings from Greece. I'm Rania Lampou, a global educator of language and global ambassador of language, literary and oratory arts, as well as education of International Pythian Council, and also International Ambassador of Ecumenical Delphic Union. It's my privilege to welcome you all to our global virtual conference organized by Modern Pythian Games and the National Pythian Council. By drawing inspiration from the ancient Greek Pythian Games and aligning with the United Nations agenda, Modern Pythian Games is a global platform for traditional cultural games, which celebrates the convergence of arts, cultures, and traditional sports. Modern Pythian Games is an opportunity to come in contact with other cultures, to exchange ideas and opinions, and to find new inspirations. And of course, it's a collaborative work because only through interaction we can evolve. Today we have eminent and respected personalities from different parts of the world and honorary members of the National Pythian Council who will enlighten us on their vision of Modern Pythian Games. Each speaker has 5 minutes to speak, and please stick to the time limit. So without further ado, I request Mr. Bijender Goel, founder of Modern Pythian Games and the founder of the National Pythian Council also, to deliver his welcome speech. So,
hello.
Mr. Bijender, we are welcome you to our virtual stage.
Good evening, everybody. Mr. Kash, please you introduce yourself till Mr. Rajesh Srivastava come back with the voice. In the meantime, you can start your introduction. Yes.
Thank you kindly. So this is just the introduction, not the vision. We'll talk about vision.
Yeah, just introduction.
Later.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. My name is Dr. Chris Soteropoulos. I live in Melbourne, Australia. I'm involved in a lot of international activities around education, commercial development, and cultural peace building and capacity building in Africa, Eastern Europe, as well as the Indian subcontinent. And the kind invitation from many of the members on this call touched my heart in the sense the reinvigorating the Pythian Games in today's society. I think areas beyond traditional sport, but also arts and culture. So we'll talk a little bit more about my vision for Australia shortly, but that's my introduction, and look forward to hearing on the other guests that are also here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kirsch, and nice to connect you second time today. Now, Rania, you please introduce yourselves to everybody. However, so many people, everybody knows you. Yeah.
Okay, as I said, I'm actually a STEM educator, a global educator, I teach a trainer, a neuroeducation researcher. I love kids, I love teaching. I dedicated my whole life in teaching, and also I'm an author of scientific books for kids. I'm working at the Greek Ministry of Education, where now I'm in the position of writing and promoting educational projects to Greek schools. And also the founder of many humanitarian...
because it's not part of the agenda, but introduction is very necessary.
And also, as I said before, I'm ambassador of Ecumenical Delphic Union for Mr. Panos Kaltsis and Elena Kiropoulos. And I think we're together, all together jointly, we can work miracles. Thank you.
I request Mr. Luis.
So good afternoon again. Greetings, dear colleagues, esteemed friends. It's a great pleasure and a great honor to be here. So first of all, I would like to thank the kind invitation that was made by Professor Rania Lampou to be here today. I would start by saying that, well, my name is Luis Cardoso. I'm from Portugal. I live in Portugal. I'm a higher education professor and researcher. I work at the Polytechnic Institute of Porto Alegre, and I'm a researcher at the Center for Comparative Studies at the University of Lisbon. I'm the former dean of the Higher School of Education and Social Sciences of the Polytechnic Institute of Porto Alegre, and I've been a higher education professor since 1985. I can say that humanities, education, and arts are three of the most important passions that I have in life. So I'm very happy to be here today, and I hope we can build strong connection and create an extraordinary opportunity to revigorate the Pythian Games. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. I request Mr. Ashim Khetrapal to introduce himself.
I'm sorry, I'm in a car and I'm just coming from. I've heard a lot about everyone from Mr. Goel, and we over here have been working tirelessly. The whole team's been working tirelessly for the development of Pythia, and I'd just like to do a little bit of introduction. I happen to run the biggest sports management company in India way back in late 80s and early 90s till about 2001 and 2. And now I spread a message. I'm a spiritual guide and I spread a message. But sports is in my heart, and Mr. Goel got me back into this. And I think what in the last 60 days, how the Pythian movement has picked up in India, it's absolutely remarkable. All the support needed from all of you is very essential to make this into the modern games. All my blessings and all my wishes to the council today, and all of you who have joined in today to start this movement. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Asim. I request Anil Kumarji to introduce himself.
Hi everybody, I'm BH Anil Kumar, founder president of the Pythian Council of India. I am a career bureaucrat. I have worked with the state government and the central government for about 35 years, and now working for Pythia. I share the vision and passion for ensuring that whatever are the traditional games and art and culture, we need to ensure that they survive, and we need to ensure that the world gets to see these, art forms which are going into extinction. So we need, I think, similar case with all countries, because the new generation or the generation now is not aware of the strong history, culture, and traditions which are part of every country. And I think with Pythia, we will provide a global platform for each and every country to share their passion for safeguarding these traditional art forms. And with this platform, I think we will be able to bring those artisans and artists to the global forum, where they can be recognized and the art forms can be recognized, and we would be ensuring that their art forms are carried forward for the next coming generations.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Now I request Joyce to introduce yourself. Joyce.
Good afternoon, Mr. Goel. Good afternoon, presidents and team leaders from your various countries. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm delighted to be part of this esteemed members of the Global Pythian platform. My name is Joyce Misoi. I am a Kenyan by birth. I have lived in Canada for about 23 years, but I'm now back to Kenya to give back to society. I love sports. am actually a former sports person. I was very keen in 800 meters, and that was my sport. I was in Team B of Olympic Games many years ago, and I continue with that passion to date. My career is computer programming, and I am also in the field of climate change. I also represent the National Museums of Kenya as a patron, and I'm glad to be here. And we'll be sharing my vision for Kenya and possibly a little bit, which would be similar to most African countries. Thank you. I'm glad to be
Thank,
here.
thank you, Miss Joycey. Thank you so much. Now Lena is here. Lena, please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm really excited to belong to this beautiful family where world changers, it is our ethical duty to the next generation. I really appreciate that we can combine our forces, our strengths, and our belief, and to make and to fight for something bigger than us. Quite recently, I was in a very nice event invited to the US Embassy in Athens. And I met a very famous photographer. So he said, if you're going to make something proud of the others, it's never gonna fail. But if you're going to make something about yourself and to empower your ego, then probably you will fail. So I probably vote for the first version. We're not going to fail. We believe in this, and is exactly what world needs at the moment. People that they can share the vision, but to have a mission. Thank you very much. We are going to do a lot in Europe about it.
Thank you, Lena.
Very welcome.
Prince Riyad is here. Please introduce yourself, Prince.
Yeah, this is Prince Riyad. I am from Bangladesh. I live in Dhaka, which is the capital of Bangladesh. Basically, I am working with a lot of activities nationally and internationally. And I am very much happy to be here with all of you. That's all from my side. Thanks.
Thank you, Prince. Now I request Janti to introduce yourself.
Good afternoon. Thank you, everyone, for inviting me. And I want to say about myself that I'm a public relations consultant, but I used to be a teacher, and I also was appointed as a Greek teacher at the University of Stuttgart, teaching Greek language and culture. And I worked at the Consulate of Stuttgart as a public relations consultant, promoting the Greek culture with days of Greek culture, which was which were events over the whole year. And I'm very happy to be part of the Modern Pythian Games, as I believe that it will be very much like the ancient Pythian Games, contribute to slaying the monsters in our modern society, like Apollo did with a python, and promote truth and safety and entertainment and edutainment for the world with the inspiration out of the ancient cultures from around the world. So thank you very much.
Janti. Now I request Mr. Srivastava ji, if he is... yes, sir.
Good afternoon. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is evening in Delhi. This is Rajesh Kumar Srivastava. I stay in Delhi. My background is I worked for, 4 years as a lecturer. I taught botany. I was a researcher. Thereafter, I joined the civil service, worked at various places in India, union territories, central government. Finally, I retired from Goa. I became a state election commissioner. And I had unique opportunity of being associated as a part of the government team in organization of Commonwealth Games, which were held in Delhi in 2012, and Lusophonia Games in Goa, which were held in 2014. I am very happy to be part of this Pythian Games team, and I am very confident and hopeful that globally we will be able to launch a new era of laughter, sports, culture, tradition, and definitely Pythian Games will occupy the center stage under the leadership of Mr. Vijay Goyal and our team members. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir, for your blessings and your introduction. For my introduction, I think everybody knows me, so I'm not basically focused on my introduction. I'm rendering my services to the cause. So, being a founder of these games, it is a great honor for me to be here on first interactive session of on the YouTube channel of Modern Pythian Game, and I'm grateful to Rania Lampou for hosting this. Rania called me 10 days, 15 days back and told me, let's start the YouTube channel and I will host every week and invite such conferences and noble personalities who is interested to contribute to this cause, and let's start our YouTube channel. And so we have started today, Rania. So thank you so much and best of luck. As a founder of Modern Pythian Games, I welcome our all distinguished speakers today at the remarkable virtual global conference. We are here to discuss on the idea that hold tremendous potential for uniting cultures, promoting arts, and celebrating the beauty of human spirit through traditional games. After the revival of Modern Pythian Games in September 2022 and building an organizational structure in India in the month of 2023, I am here to speak of none other than the global spread of Pythian Games and building its organizational structure. We are developing the concept of Modern Pythian Game. We are now in the process of identifying the events and the key elements of these games. And that shall make the Pythian Games so remarkable by creating competitions in various traditional games, including martial arts, cultural activities, and with a focus on arts, dance, music, painting, and poetry, etc., all such activities. We have also recently concluded with an international online competition in the painting and poetry, and I'm happy to share the response. We started this competition in the month of February. There was very poor response in the beginning because the people were not aware, and we have some operational technical problems also. But in the last month, you can say in the month of June, we concluded it on 30th June. We have to extend the date sometime. And ultimately, 286 participants participated in the competition, and it is a big achievement for us for the first event. And I hope it will multiply in the coming times in our virtual competition. So this is a concept which we have developed, that is virtual and physical platforms that we have created for the artist. Now these are the pillars on which we have to build our vision. We are here to create a global platform that transcends boundaries, unites nations, and spreading the Pythian Games globally. We are here to foster a sense of mutual trust among athletes, artists, and intellectuals like you. We envision an event that not only showcases the skill of athletes, but also celebrate the rich tapestry of the human culture, creativity, and knowledge. We have to conduct thorough research on other global sporting and cultural events to understand their structures, successes, and challenges. We need to seek collaborations with organizations, universities, and cultural institutions to share our vision with them. We are looking and we are working for a pilot event, because pilot event is very necessary and it is required to guide the whole world how the Pythian Games will be played. So we are working on a pilot event in a specific location and region. This will allow us to test our concept, gain practical experience, and demonstrate the potential of Pythian Games to potential partners and participants. To make our expansion, we are working to forge partnership with national, international sports federation, cultural organizations, academic institutions to expand our reach and gain support in different regions. I appeal all members of Pythian Games family to focus on expansion by collaborating with different stakeholders in their regions also. You see, we have to focus on some key points now, because we have already developed the concept, we have already presented the concept, we have started the process of creating the physical structure, we have already created the virtual platform. Now, what is the agenda before us now? How to promote these games? This is the first agenda now. Keeping in this mind, we have recently appointed Mr. Asim Khetrapal, who is the, you can say, the first person in the world, I can say, who know how to manage the sports. He is the person who brought sports management and marketing in 90s, in 80s, 90s. And now where is the cricket is today, is the brain behind it to commercialize the cricket events. So I requested him to be the chairman of strategy and planning committee of the International Pythian Council, as well as to head the marketing division also. And definitely the Pythian movement has moving very, taking a shape very fastly, very fast you can say, since he has joined. He is authorized to develop a comprehensive marketing and communication strategy to promote the Pythian Games globally, and he will share his vision in his speech. How the other agenda is how we can attract the artists and other stakeholders with Pythian Games. For that, we have to offer some incentives, some lucrative offers to them. Our vision is very clear, and to achieve this vision, this can include prize money, recognition, and opportunities for further exposure and expansion. We have to develop national and state level councils, because since beginning we are saying that we have to bring this unorganized sector to an organized sector. And it is only possible once you create a physical structure, a multi-level structure in your country, as we have started in India, through state level, national level, state level, then district level, and then you go to the villages level. And our virtual platform is going to help you and support you to reach to every artist of your country. We have also planned that how you will be benefited by the revenue generated by the virtual platform. Due to your efforts, if the participation from your countries come to the international committee, and there is a fee structure is there for the joining or whatever, which is the committee is going to decide very soon, then your country is going to get the share out of it. So it is going to be win-win situation for everybody, and that you need to create a national structure and a state level structure in your countries. We have already started adopting the advanced technology that I have told you. So by using the virtual platforms, we are now, this is our first online interactive session we have launched now. We have also started working to bring out with our media platforms like digital newspaper, then the live streaming through YouTube channels, and the other printed media also. It will take shape through a committee which will see how we can go beyond to reach some height. We will decide it. And the third and the most important agenda before us is the revenue generation for this cause, because till now, from last 3 years, we are working on this movement. We have to create resources for the organization. India, they have now very good team and supporting team. They have start functioning. They have start helping the organization also. But in other countries, you see, in your countries, you are 1 man, 2 men, 3 persons. You have to start building the organization now. Because unless if you don't give a shape to the organization, it will become a very big problem for you to organize events in near future. So you have to look after good potential partners in your country. You have to reach to everybody from the business segment, for the artist segment, and some volunteers also. You have to see everybody. In the beginning, you had just give a legal shape to your organization in your country. Mr. Asim will guide you how it will going to help you financially in coming times. And once you establish you hold your first Pythian Games or a model of Pythian Games, or what I am saying, just a concept of Pythian Games in practical way. We are going to present it very soon from India. And once it is done, then this movement will spread like anything. You see, from India, Indian media is big media, well-known media around the world. It has start picking the news of Pythian Games. It's mean you are going to be the biggest brand in the world, one of the biggest brand in the world in next 2 years. And your brand value will bring money to you. We are coming with lot of programs, and Mr. Asim will focus on these programs. He has also reached to me. Therefore, let us embrace this noble endeavor with unwavering dedication, careful planning, and collaborative efforts. Together, we can ignite a flame that will illuminate the path of unity, athleticism, and cultural exchange for generations to come. Thank you so much. Rania.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vijender, for your clear, absolutely clear, and very inspiring vision and planning. You certainly inspire us, and we are ready to move forward. And as you said, we need all together to ignite this flame. So it's up to us as country directors and country representatives to start now working. I know it's not easy, but I think it's all these ideals of ancient Greece and Pythian Games are very, very motivating and very encouraging for us. So thank you very much. And now I would like to call upon Mr. Rosim, Vice President of the International Pythian Council, to express his thoughts, to share his thoughts about global planning and strategy.
Thank you very much, Rania, and Mr. Goel for that inspiring speech. Chris, you're from Australia, and I think we've had an Australian participation after a long, long time. Having said that,
two ways of going about this is either we put the risk on the table and we say we're going to start right away, And the last 60 days, what has happened in India, the movement has taken off under the able guidance of Anil Kumar. The IPC has been formed. The members have locked in, and a movement that the agenda has all got tabulated. Not only that, the first IPC meeting was held in Delhi at 11th. And with a movement like this, which is growing on an everyday basis, people are getting attached, people are getting involved, because most of them start getting involved only when they see a movement. And that is very important. So there are certain events which have been lined up. And the events, the first ever National Pythian Games has been lined up for next year, where there's a unanimous opinion when it should be held. And under the leadership of Anil Kumar and Rajesh Lokpal, who's the Secretary General, we met the Goa Chief Minister, we met the Pondicherry Chief Minister, and the other dignitaries or other people also met. And now it's for the Pythian Council to decide where to do it. We've sent a concurrence to the Goa government saying that we want to hold it here. But Chennai has come forward and they said that, look, we are also available. So these things will happen. And this has just been 90 days, not even 90 days, where the council's been formed, the committee meetings have taken place, their registrations have taken place, email IDs are all in place. This has happened very fast. But this is my feeling. And if you need to drive, you need to take it on from the head, and you've got to take it on and say that, listen, I've got this deadline, and I've just come to this office to give you the good news that the first local event over here in Uttarakhand was planned out just 4 days back with the new committee. And today I have the good news, which will be shared by Mr. Goel, that event has been underwritten by a sponsor today. And in the next few days, we will be signing the first contract of IPC. So I think it's a very lucky day, and just wanted to convey this news to you. Rest, he will share the details when it's signed, and we were all there at the meeting day before when this was happening. So today at about 11:30, this got frozen. You do one, and the rest will all follow. Having said this, there is a big award function which is being planned by the IPC, the International Pythian Council, to do one of the biggest awards in India, because as you know, the G20 summit is taking place. Now, how does Pythia get across the globe and on the social media and the television networks? This is where the cricket syndication helps. What we had done way back in 90. We've created the event. The ethos of the events had been worked out. This is being planned between Mr. Goel and Mr. Anil Kumar and Mr. Shiva. It's been planned in either somewhere in the south. Dates, because of the Indian elections, are being fluctuating between February, March, or January. But this event, the ethos and the whole thing has been devised, it's been constructed. This is where the IPC will come in, and all of you will come in, because we are talking of uniting nations on art, culture, literature, theater, book writing, authors, together under one roof. I don't think there is any award in the world which has all these categories. And India today boasts a lot of talent. So does the talent in Australia, Europe, America. Now, under one roof, someone's got to take the lead. So that event is being planned by the IPC. And the rights of the event will belong to the IPC. In principle, we have hooked in principle. We've hooked in a channel who's been talked to and has shown very keen interest to syndicate it in India, to telecast in India, and syndicate on its multiple platforms worldwide as a one-hour show. I think that's the next step forward. And that's where we need IPC full support of every member, because we have to form a jury, we have to get the authors in, we've got to get the talent in, and finally, we've got to make that happen under one umbrella in 2 days. And this is not a glamour event. This is an event which is, glamour would be a part of it, but it is not a film event. It's not a pictures event. It's an event which is a serious event, which will give credibility to Pythian worldwide that they have done something big over here. And it's being formulated in the principles of glamour on lines of Cannes Film Festival. The gloss like Cannes and seriousness of the award is the key word for it. Very important. On the next meeting, I think we should talk about the construction of that event with everyone, so that everyone comes up with their ideas and they start getting in touch with the various organizations in their countries and continents to get the best jury forward. Because it's that jury which is going to make the awards big and make the credibility of Pythia international. Third is, the first event is a local event over here, which has been underwritten today. Mr. Anil Kumar and Vijender Goel have been working on various models, and I think in the next 2-3 years, you should see various other states coming forward with replicating this event. Lastly, there is a tie-up between Pythia and the first ever differently abled cricket league, where Australia, there was a team for the World Cup. They've got 9 teams and the 6 teams coming forward. And Pythia will have to do a lot of contribution worldwide to make this a big, serious event. And Pythia could be the first motivators of that event, because cricket cuts across every continent. And today, disabled cricket, differently abled cricket, we've named it differently abled cricket, is not anyone's property, not even ICC. So there's a huge opportunity for us to put that on the main first Pythian Games in Greece when we plan it. So if we do that in various countries where cricket is being played, it'll be very easy for Prince to do it. It'll be very easy for you to do it in Australia. Conduct events so that you have a team by the time 3 years down the line. So that's one thought. Last thought is that we do the first ever modern Pythian National Games in India, where every representative of the country will be invited. So they'll be invited for the award function over here to see the model. The next day, we all discuss the pros and cons of the event, so that how to better it, and look at the first ever modern Pythian Games in India, national event, so that we frame up the guidelines and everyone puts his inputs to frame the right guidelines so that our construction of the event is proper. Because here we are talking of an unorganized sector. Unorganized sector needs a lot of thinking to put it on paper to make it organized. Once we do that, I think we are ready for the national Pythian Games in at least 10 to 20 countries in the next 2 years. If we do that and accomplish this small agendas, I think we are on for the first ever Pythian Games in Greece in 27. This has been the small thought process. So let's take our baby steps, form our organizations, all the relevant bylaws to be passed according to your countries. We have able people over here, and the good solicitors also joining the organization with every day something or the other is happening. And we're all here to make this happen It's just that you've got to decide when to start. Joyce, it's great to be in your company, person who's participated in the Olympics.
It's a pleasure meeting you here virtually, and I'm delighted to be in the midst of very passionate.
Prince, I heard you the other day. I joined the meeting, and I think you were really motivating. But just now, time's too short. Let's just take it on.
I agree. As you know, Australia is sports mad.
Yes.
And we have our person of the year last year was a disabled basketball person with wheelchair. So we ideally get someone like that on a jury as well who has national presence. But there's lots of movement with the initiatives and the platforms that you're talking about. On the Indigenous side, that's also very culturally relevant. And the good news is we know the national leaders, so to get them involved would be very easy, because they would also feel that their traditions are reaching an international platform, which is one of the things they've wanted to do for a couple of generations. So there's many success stories here. One of the other things that we can bring in through this part of the world, as you know, events management in sport is very strong here.
Yes.
We traditionally, even every weekend in Melbourne, the city that I'm from, can have 150, 200,000 people attend sport.
Yeah.
It's their religion, and the stadiums are fill, they're empty, traffic management, catering, hospitality, seamless, never a problem. And people bring their kids, so that whole culture. But the learnings and the practices, just as you have in India with the IPL and how that's grown now to be, a superstar activity, we could introduce learnings across through your leadership and leadership of the body there to other parts of the world as well, that we're talking through on this call. And as the group grows, also an interdisciplinary leadership group, both of different nations or cultural heritages, from in the individual country, but also across countries. So, for example, the Australian Leadership and Advisory Board may have representatives from other parts of the world, in addition to Australians that have different cultural heritage because of the nature of the country. And I think all the learnings we feed back to you as at headquarters, and the learnings you say, okay, well, this is what's happening there. We can pick up what's happening in other parts of the world, and it's almost a real-time learning. So I think that can help both on the revenue generation, the sponsorship, the media. I'm a commercial lawyer and also do endorsement agreements for cricket players and things like that. So you get a lot of these competencies from different parts of the world into your central organization as well. In India, it can really short circuit or bring the time frame for delivery to a much shorter time frame. So
incidentally, Chris, the IPL was given to India by me.
Oh, wow. Right.
And the first ever 2020 held in Gwalior in 2005 was done by me with Jyoti Sindhya. And it was India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, all packed. And we did it without the permission of BCCI, because BCCI did not hold any copyrights. And we went forward, made it happen. And that is the first time you had cheerleaders and all these things over here, which was later replicated by Lalit. I gave it to Lalit.
Fantastic.
And I was the one who got Lalit into sports, because I used to sponsor, Foursquare used to sponsor my events. Anyway, that's history now. But what you're talking is absolutely true. And that the best event management companies today hail from Australia. That is very, very true. And their management is absolutely exemplary.
Well, we have
And
access to
I
them
think
as
if you could just
individuals.
give a few ideas of for the award function, if you have good companies and were reasonable, economical, and who could, we have to look at those companies to outsource those companies for the awards event. I think it'll be it's worth giving a shout to them.
Absolutely, yes.
They
And
are organized. They are organized. Yeah.
Wonderful. We know a number of the
Yeah, so
leadership
you can just
people
send it-
in this part of the world. Yeah.
Send it across. Yeah. Yeah. I would now like to do it. And, thank you very much for hearing me, and thank you.
Thank
I
you.
would like to
Likewise,
thank
thank you.
also Dr. Chris. No, it's a Greek. He lives in Australia. He's very passionate about ancient Greece, and he's also very associated with circle of poets there. So he can contribute also to artistic planning. He's very, very active. He's I want to say that he's doing a lot of charities with humanity. He's a very remarkable man, and I think that we can work together in excellent ways with Dr. Chris.
My pleasure, Rania. Thank you.
So I would like now to request Dr. Anil Kumar, if you're here, to share with us the vision.
Everybody once again.
Yes, yes.
India, we have come a long way from the day when we started the launch of the September 22. I think within 9 months, we have been able to achieve a lot of traction. We have formed our first national executive. We held our first national executive in May of 2023. And I would like to place on record that we have about 18 states out of 30 states in the country already on board. And we have formalized the national charter for the Pythian Games. And then we also formulated the state bylaws which are required for the establishment of the state bodies. And all of these were adopted in the national executive. And now we are in the process of having the state bodies being formed. And already we have 2 states which have already set up their state bodies. And we have given a target of a month to ensure that all the states get their state bodies in place. And everybody is busy getting these bodies formalized, because as we have known that the Pythian Games is totally in an unorganized sector, and we need to have a very strong organized base, organized structure, right from the national level down to the maybe up to the village level, or even up to the school level, where we tap the talent of the youngsters of the next generation to ensure that they are part of the Pythian family. And with this in mind, we have formulated the charters and adopted that and given out the various copies to each one of them so that they can set up their own state bodies. Along with that, we have also given them a specific task of identifying what are all the traditional art forms, the traditional cultural forms, and the traditional games of their respective states. And not only identify those games or art forms, but also identify the artists who are practicing these art forms. So we do have a state-wise database of the various art forms and cultural forms and games. And we have also told the states to once they've identified these art forms, they can come up with their events which they would like to host, whether it is a painting competition, whether it's a literary competition, whether it's a theater competition, whether it's a music competition, whatever is the kind of competitions which they would like to have within their state. of the traditional art forms and cultures and games, we would be helping them to co-host the event and ensure that the event becomes a success. In fact, what we have said is that every state should have a Pythian festival of art, culture, and traditional games. We are trying to make this as a brand name for each and every event which takes place under the banner of the Pythian Games. And I'm also glad to inform you that the National Executive has also given us very good pointers as to how we should go ahead in building the organized structure, and as well as taking forward the movement of Pythian Games. What we have decided is that we need to have a logo. Of course, the logo is already there with all of you, but what is required is a theme song for the Modern Pythian Games. It's something which like a jingle, or something which is unique to the Modern Pythian Games, is what was suggested in the National Executive, and I think that's what we are planning to have. And of course, an official spokesman who will look after media and communication, so that we have appointed a person, Radhika Kshetrapal, as the head of the media and communication on behalf of the Modern Pythian Games in the country. And we have also identified certain states where the Pythian festival of art, culture, and traditional games should be held. And these are, we have kind of arrived at a calendar of events over the next 1.5 years. What are all the events which we could have? I think Mr. Ashim has already said that we will be having National Awards Festival, Pythian Awards Festival, on the lines of Cannes Festival. We'll also be launching the first National Pythian Games at the national level. We have identified 2-3 states where we could have this event organized, and we are in the process of finalizing these venues and way in which the events have to be organized. First and foremost, I think what we need to do is, as we discussed, in order to have a kind of uniform concept of Modern Pythian Games, the concept of how we will conduct games, the national games in each of the countries, we need to have that kind of a framework which will ensure that there is uniformity in how we conduct the national games in each and every country. So I think that concept also, we will be probably having an event where we will be inviting all of you, all the participating countries, to come and participate here, and then the concept will be unveiled to you, and we would also like you to react to that, and we decide upon a uniform kind of a framework for conduct of these Pythian Games. So this is from India. I think when we meet next, we will be having many more events which are already on. In fact, in the last maybe couple of months, we have gained a lot of traction, and a lot of states and a lot of people are evincing interest in the concept of the Modern Pythian Games, and they are eager to jump onto the bandwagon. That's what I would like to say. And I think going forward, we are in for a very exciting phase. I only request that we would be willing to share whatever is the charter which we have prepared for the national and the state level, in India. Maybe you could adopt that with due modifications suitable for your country. I think that would be make things easier for you at your country level. And we only hope that all of you who are here from various countries, you set up your national executive as quickly as possible. And then probably, I think Bangladesh is already on its way setting up the national executive. And we hope the others will follow suit quickly so that the momentum of the modern Pythian Games is carried forward across the globe. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Anil Kumar. That was very, very motivating. Uniformity is the key concept, as you said. And I'm planning to visit India this August. I hope I will be present at one of these events and enjoy this event. I'm looking forward to this. I wish you all the best for this.
We look forward to welcoming you all.
Of course, thank you very much. Now I would like to call upon Lena. It's Lena Kiropoulos.
Nice to meet you all. It's very encouraging that I'm hearing you from each one of you, all this, let's say, very important aspect of you, how you're going to see it, how you're going to approach it. And like a media lady, I would like to say that we have to popularize it in a more international level. I think we should strike bridges that, first of all, they're going to introduce us like a community to the people. So each one of us representing an association, an organization. So in the first place, we have to introduce us to see what we're doing. In aim after, when we're going to understand our potential dynamic, to synthesize this and to say you will be there, you will be there, you will be there, etc. And despite that, is very important the awareness to the community, to several communities, not only to the people that are related with arts. In Greece, okay, we have many cultural associations, but we have many in Greek diaspora in Europe. For example, if we could make them familiar with everything, with the scope of this purpose, I'm really definitely sure that they're going to hug it, because they want also a voice and to popularize also their effort in culture. So if you're going to think that it's going to be a chain and we have only to bring these strings together, we're going to make a very strong chain, because each one of us, like an individual, like an association, it has something very important, the human capital. And we have to work on this human capital. And not only about art, about life. We had the pandemic, okay? So how many of us, they lost friends because of coronavirus? How many of us nowadays, they have increased, let's say, the quality of life because we have air pollution. So we have to think actually a little bit out of the box, and also under the circumstances we live all together. It doesn't matter if you're India, if you're in Europe, if you're in Australia. We face the same problems. So we have to unite our forces to understand how we can get rid of the obstacles and to be real to each other, to speak the truth, and to bring people together to know us. Very nice, all the titles and all the words and blah, blah, blah. Enough with blah, blah, blah. Let's do actions. Let's combine our, let's say, our potential mind, our cognitive, our mental, our knowledge, our experiences. I want to learn from you guys. When Mr. Kumar, he's speaking about Bangladesh, yes, I would like to visit Bangladesh and to know more. But before to do that, I'm going to study about Bangladesh. So, I mean, we have to take it more seriously. Mr. Goel, now he really ran whole India. He established presidencies there. It's not enough. We have to be more active, but in order to make it, we have to speak the truth and say, what can we do? How time can I offer? if I can afford something to do in my community, like Mr. Sotiropoulos he just said, and also the friend of Mr. Goel, small steps, but real ones. Like this, we're going to build the trust. What I want to propose is the culture associations we have in Europe, especially the Greek ones. There are many. We can introduce the modern Pythian games to them. They can, like this, put in their website the logo of the modern Pythian games. On the other hand, we have also to listen what they are doing, how they can integrate to the program. Because nobody, okay, we have a cycle that they know us, but they don't know us in a wide range. Now they're going to learn us, okay? That was what I want to share with you, to think like this and to think practical, because many of us were also entrepreneurs. So with a practical methodology, 1, 2, 3, vision, okay, but to have also a kind of study, how we're going to approach the people. So we have the network, we have only to activate it. Thank you.
Now, Lena, I request you, because you have been asked to speak on the European vision for the European region. So I want you to identify the countries which you can approach. We have already some representative in few countries. Now we have to identify those people who are in a capacity to build the organization in their countries. Because my target is to establish at least 15 countries as a national. It can take a shape organizational structure in about 10 to 15 countries in next 1 year. Because when Olympics started, it started with the 8 countries.
Lovely.
So if we can achieve at least 10 or 15 countries that can take a organizational structure, then we will be in win-win situation, because the other countries will follow us. Once we develop 10 or 15 nations and we start activities there, the other nations will follow us. So now from after India, I think Bangladesh is going to be the second country very soon. In the same way, the third country, I think Kenya will be there. Joyce, I think so. You are on the process. So yes, today morning, Mr. Kambli from, I think is from, is another Mali, I think. He also messaged me, he's ready with the organization now. So we can have at least 10, 15 organizations by next year, and that will give a momentum to the step. So I request you to focus on the European countries and start, ask them to start a organizational structure. Rania, please ask the next one. I think Mr. Prince Riyad is there.
Yes, I want to say something. Yes, that it's time to take action and move forward, as Lena said. And Europe has a great potential because European Union has a lot of policy and legislation and many projects and programs about the cultural heritage. So we can approach many institutions about this and read more about the European Union legislation about cultural heritage. It's very important to start from this if we talk about Europe.
May I also say something and then
Yes.
to go to the next one? Like I told, I'm a communication project manager in ERFC. ERFC is an institute that have funding directly from European community. There is also another association related to the funding among Europe and India. So it's something I have sent you already, Goel. If we're going to have a specific proposal, what we want to do with which stakeholders we would like to combine it, then we can, let's say, have a proposal about culture exchange programs. This is a lot of fancy at the moment. And something that they want to see is art combined with environmental topics. If somebody could make art from eco-material, recycled boxes, let's say, and we can bring it like a proposal, then the funding is going to be huge. Horizon is started from 1.5 million until 8 million. We have also smaller programs like Erasmus, Culture Erasmus. That means people from Bangladesh, they can come to visit Europe to exchange knowledge, to exchange methodology, also the tools, platforms. So we have a platform. We can
Yes,
do a lot of things.
Lena, I have sent your proposal to my chartered accountant to explore, because we have a lot of problem in getting in accepting the foreign funding in India. So we will explore it. But now our meeting time has crossed 1 hour 15 minutes more than, so lot of
Yes.
speakers are yet to come. So I would like to request Rania to
Yes, I want to
be
say
in
that.
time and conclude the meeting
Okay,
today.
don't worry. Yes, I want to say that Europe invests a lot on cultural heritage, and especially combining digital environment, as Elena said, and digital technologies. They invest a lot on this, so we can explore these Horizon programs and the funding of European Union. So thank you very much, Lena. And now we can move forward to Mr. Prince Riyad. You're here, can you hear us? You can take the floor.
Prince Riyad, please conclude yourself in within 5 minutes. Now we will move next to the speaker instead of discussing more.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Excellencies, to give me chance to say something. Really, we are clearly ahead than many other countries. I strongly said so. Respected General Secretary and founder of Modern Pythian Games, His Excellency Mr. Vijender Goyal, distinguished host, all Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and very good evening according to Bangladesh's standard time. It's given me immense pleasure to be here with all of you at this August gathering organized by International Modern Pythian Council. At the outset, I extend my sincere thanks and deep gratitude to all. Right now, I am describing about the vision of Bangladesh. Bangladesh is a small country, but population is high. So it's a huge scope to do business, to start something, because our population is also our asset. We think so. The people of Bangladesh are fond of sports and culture from the very beginning of the subcontinent. And a lot of people are closely involved with games, music, performing arts, architecture, robotics and digital arts, martial arts and traditional arts. We are lucky enough we have been involved with this organization. Really, it's a great platform to us to expose ourselves. And we have a plan to involve 1 lakh creative people in modern Pythian games in the 8 sectors within very short time. In this regards, we have already started work and our team works very well. Many renowned persons have already joined with us and according to modern Pythian game sectors. We have to plan to produce modern Pythian games in every university of Bangladesh. We will arrange inter-university competition according to the arena of music, sports, drama, and other cultural events of modern Pythian games, as well as sport also. And we will organize music talent hunt show with a collaboration of popular TV channel of Bangladesh. In this regard, we also work. Our team working very good. We will plan to train up 8 sectors of modern Pythian games to set up a Modern Pythian Games Academy in Bangladesh so that it will help us to groom up the young talented people from the school level to university level. We have a plan to launch inter-district kabaddi sports, which is the national game of Bangladesh under the banner of Modern Pythian Games as a traditional sports. Besides, we are working to arrange cricket. Cricket is most popular game in this subcontinent. Bangladesh also is playing country, and right now we are doing well in cricket sector. I would like to draw attention of Mr. Osim Katarpal, who will make decision to arrange a cricket tournament, especially South area or modern Pythian games countries. It will play vital role to explore something in a sport area. And to do something, we have communicated with sponsors. In this regard, we want help from multinational sponsor from the International Modern Pythian Games. I hope International Pythian Games will help us to do so. We have already started publicity through social, print, and electronic media. And we have arranged a press conference with international media like BBC, CNN, Al Jazeera, AFP, Reuters, with the help of International Modern Pythian Games. We strongly believe that if we do so properly in Bangladesh, it will set up a new instance in the globe to set up modern Pythian games very smoothly. With these words, I conclude my speech. Thanks everybody for patience here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Prince Riyad. Thank you for your insightful presentation. And now we can move forward to Dr. Luis Cardoso from Portugal.
Hello again, my dear friends. So again, it's a huge honor to be here today to celebrate the Modern Pythian Games. So the Pythian Games, athletic, poetic, and musical competition at Delphi, guided men of great prestige in antiquity, such as Croesus, Lycurgus, and Plato, and Socrates, and others mentioned Delphi at various times, such as Diodorus, Herodotus, Pausanias, and Plutarch. Now it's time for the modern Pythian Games to inspire great personalities of our century. So Pythian Games represent profound symbolic dimension, as the winners received a laurel garland and not a monetary prize, which values civic spirit. And the reason why a crown of laurel is the prize for a Pythian victory is because the prevailing tradition has it that Apollo fell in love with Daphne, the daughter of Ladon, says Pausanias in description of Greece. So Pythian Games are also a love story. And love is a powerful energy to unite our world. So Daphne in Greek mythology is the personification of the laurel to crown the victorious in sports and arts. And arts are so important. Arts shall be our priority in Portugal, because scientists, humanists, and art lovers alike value art, not just for its beauty, but also for its social and epistemic importance. We're talking about its nature, its capacity to increase one's self-knowledge and encourage personal growth, and its ability to challenge our schemas and preconceptions. So in our modern society, art is a universal way to people to express themselves and share their feelings about the world. Art is an important avenue through which we can connect with others, especially in times of crisis. So this eternal description made by Pausanias and the values of Pythian Games will certainly inspire the modern Pythian Games all over the world and in my country, Portugal. Arts are pillars in my country's history. So I believe our main contribution will be to honor these pillars, to honor art as an eternal Pythian value. Arts, namely literature, including prose, drama, and poetry, and I foresee opportunities to collaborate in art competitions, for example. So arts can be one of Portugal's main focus in modern Pythian Games, but the other one, I think, is sports for persons with disabilities. And this is something that is very important to me and that I cherish. So this can be my second focus point. I think we need a common framework and guidelines to define the modern Pythian Games, namely countries, stakeholders, sponsors, partners, goals, and activities. I also think we need to reinforce our brand and disseminate our message, namely using online platforms and social media. Social media should be one of our priorities regarding our communication strategies. So, my dear friends, I hope these Pythian values may be reborn and inspire modern times through arts and sports. And arts and sports are magnificent sources of light and celebration of life for mankind in this 21st century. Thank you again, and I also thank the organization, and I wish that we can unite and honor the Pythian Games spirit. Thank you, my friends.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. I have one question with you. To start activities in Portugal, we need an organization there, because without organization, you cannot start the activities. You cannot initiate the competition. So you need a non-profit organization. What is your idea of how you want to take it forward there in Portugal? What is your opinion? I want to know. And up to when you will complete this?
Yes, so first of all, I think we should have a common document for us all, so that we can inspire from it, and to determine how each and every country can go ahead with identifying these competitions or sponsors, activities, and so on. So from this common ground, we can think about each and every country's opportunity and challenges to go ahead. So this is the first step. And then the second step is to analyze, for example, in Portugal, what could be our activities, how we could create these activities, namely online activities, to choose our sponsors, to choose our stakeholders, to choose our partners here in Portugal. So this should be the second step. And of course, the third step would be to implement all this and to create the Modern Pythian Games, for sure. So, sir, this is my vision in short regarding these three steps about Modern Pythian Games in Portugal.
Yes, sir, we will speak in on any other day when you are a bit free. Okay. Yes, Rania, please. I think Mr. Kash from Australia.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Luis, for your beautiful historical overview, and also for reminding us about the power of social media. And we will support you on your journey for building a structure there in Portugal. Of course, you have our full support, and we will do it in collaboration with the Greek chapter. So we can move now to Miss Zanti. Miss Zanti?
No, Karsh is there. Karsh from Australia.
Okay. Oh, okay. Dr. Chris, okay, you can speak.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, first of all, to all the dignitaries online, it's congratulations on what you've achieved to date and what your ambitions are in certainly the short term. The Australian vision is not difficult because legally, as a commercial lawyer, I can fully understand the relationship between a federation model and a national model. We would be working with the Indian legal team in much a similar way as stated by Luis from Portugal, in the sense that to understand the legal structures, we have very traditional structures for dealing with national offices and national organizations here as part of global federations. So that's very easy. Identifying an executive and advisory board across the areas, including arts, disability, sport, events management, key sponsorship. We have those individuals ready to go. We also have a very strong Indigenous community that is looking for a global platform for its voice. Pythian Games is ideal, and they could learn and interact with their equivalent colleagues in the subcontinent, Africa, Europe, the Americas. Again, not difficult at all. So accessing the legal structures, very simple, setting it up. Accessing key opinion leaders national, very simple. As indicated earlier, what we would propose is to have an open channel learning across the other countries as well as the national body, and also to pass on the expertise that we have in the various sectors nationally to the rest of the partners in the Federation. Rania referred to poetry and also for writing. We have a very strong Writers' Festival, and again, the leadership and the aspirants, the young aspirants are always looking for accesses to global platforms. We have connectivity in the entertainment industry as well for actors and celebrities through Hollywood presence and so forth. And we're also dealing with some of the Indian virtual production facilities for technologies. These resources we can put to the global platform of the Pythian Games to be shared with everyone as well. So that's how we can help, in short. Thank you, Rania.
This is brilliant.
Just perhaps to answer the dying question of Mr. Goel, when? Well, we can do this very quickly. There's no time delay. Once we connect with the Indian legal team, they will say this is the relationship between the national body and the international body. Then we can set up the legal structures within weeks. There's no delay.
Thank you. Thank you, Akash. We'll keep in touch. Now, Joycey.
Yes, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please allow me to shut off my video because it's kind of interfering with my network. Founder, Modern Pythian Games, Mr. Bijinder, President of IPC Delphi, Greece, Ms. Rania Lampou, presidents from across various countries, ladies and gentlemen, and all protocols observed. Hamjambo. That's greetings from the home of the long-distance runners in the world. I'm grateful for this opportunity that is granted to me in order to share Kenya's vision for Pythian Games and to celebrate Mr. Goel's initiative to revitalize the great historic platform of Pythian Games. We absolutely must credit Greece for originating the Pythian Games. The Pythian Games, as we know, once four Pan-Hellenic games of ancient Greece alongside the Olympics, Nemean and Isthmian Games. The Pythian Games were held in honor of Apollo, as Mr. Cardoso has put, and the Greek god of music, poetry, and prophecy, and took place every 4 years at the sanctuary of Delphi. It's an absolute delight to be part of this very unique platform that is just about to bring the world together in a very unique way. While the Kenyan Pythian Games pay homage to the ancient Greek origins, they also incorporate this and celebrate Kenya's own cultural heritage, traditions, and sporting prowess. The modern interpretation of the Pythian Games in Kenya builds upon the historical foundation while infusing it with unique spirit, talent, and diversity of the Kenyan people. By doing so, Kenya acknowledges and respects the origin of the Pythian Games while creating a distinct event that reflects its own cultural identity. With regards to organizing committee of the Kenyan Pythian platform, we will be establishing an organizing committee responsible for planning, coordination, and execution of the Kenyan Pythian Games. The committee will consist of representatives from relevant government bodies, sports federations, cultural organizations, and local communities, and definitely the private sector. Their roles will include overseeing logistics, event management, participant registrations, venue selection, and ensuring compliance with regulations and safety standards in Kenya. And of course, Kenya's status as the home of the athletics is widely recognized and celebrated globally. Building on this reputation, the Kenyan Pythian Games can leverage its position for further enhance its role as a hub for athletic excellence. Here are some ways to showcase Kenya as the home of athletics. We anticipate dynamic celebration of athletics, solidarity, and cultural heritage at the Kenyan Pythian Games, encouraging culture of excellence and camaraderie among the competitors from around the country. Our goal is to develop an event that celebrates Kenya's rich diversity, fosters sportsmanship, and inspires the next generation of athletes, cultural and heritage passionate citizens. From a cultural legacy, the Pythian Games will honor Kenya's diverse cultural legacy, along with the sporting events. We will present traditional music, dance, and art, allowing participants and attendees to immerse themselves in Kenya's unique tapestry. We seek to instill pride and appreciation for our collective identity by promoting our cultural history. Inspiring the next generation is key to our Kenyan Pythian Games. This will aim at inspiring and nurturing Kenya's athletes of the future. We seek to kindle dreams, goals, and ambitions in the hearts of aspiring athletes by offering platform for young talents to shine. We will encourage involvement from schools, colleges, local communities, paving the route for young athletes to hone their skills and pursue their sports love. Sustainable and inclusive event it will be. The Kenyan Pythian Games will prioritize environmental sustainability and inclusivity. We will make every effort to reduce our environmental impact by implementing eco-friendly practices, encouraging trash reduction, and embracing renewable energy sources in the process. Furthermore, we will make the games accessible to everyone, regardless of gender, ability, or socioeconomic background, establishing an inclusive environment that celebrates diversity and equal opportunities. From a community engagement and legacy perspective, the Kenya Pythian Games will be more than just a spectacle for spectators, and they will also be an opportunity to engage with and give back to the local communities. We will arrange outreach programs, sports clinics, and community events in collaboration with local groups, schools, and social projects. We hope to leave a lasting legacy that continues beyond the games, boosting a grassroots sports development and building a sense of community pride and involvement. And from an international recognition, the Kenyan Pythian Games strive to be recognized as a prominent sporting event on a global scale. We will welcome athletes, coaches, and dignitaries from all around the world to participate and witness Kenya's remarkable potential and commitment. We hope to promote Kenya as a sporting destination by garnering international attention, which will lead to global collaborations, investments, and exchange programs that will help the country's sports growth. From a technology and innovation perspective, recognizing technology improvements, the Kenya Pythian Games will employ new solutions to improve the overall experience for players and spectators. From cutting edge to sporting facilities to live streaming and interactive platforms, we will use technology to create an immersive and engaging event that will reach a global audience. In addition, we will use data analytics and sports science to improve athlete performance while maintaining the greatest levels of fairness and safety. Last and not least, the traditional art forms that have been passed down through centuries will be showcased and celebrated during the Kenyan Pythian Games. The traditional visual arts, including as beading, ceramics, wood carvings, will be displayed to demonstrate Kenyan craftsmanship. This will not only serve as a cultural display, but will also allow local artists to receive attention and maintain these old creative forms. We also will be focusing on traditional sports. The Pythian Games will revive a highlight of traditional sports that have been part of Kenya's culture for centuries. In addition to modern sports, games such as Maasai high jump, Mbokolo, that is a kind of wrestling, which seems to be very common across the world, and throwing the rungu, a wooden stick, will be added to recognize indigenous cultures, just to mention a few. Oral storytelling is also very unique to Kenya. Storytelling has always been an important part of Kenya's culture, passing down history, morals, and values from generation to generation. The Kenya Pythian Games will feature oral storytelling sessions where traditional storytellers will captivate audience with their narratives, myths, and legends, providing a platform to preserve and share the important cultural stories, keeping them alive for future generations. And finally, workshops and demonstrations. The Kenyan Pythian Games will include workshops, demonstrations in which participants will be able to actively participate in learning traditional art forms, athletics, and storytelling skills. These activities will be guided by skilled artists, athletes, storytellers who will provide hands-on experience that foster cultural exchange and skill development. The Kenyan Pythian Games will collaborate with other countries globally, which is an excellent way to enhance the Kenyan Pythian Games, promote cultural exchange, and create a truly international event. Here are some of the strategies for fostering collaboration, and I'll just mention, just in point form, that is establishing international partnerships, cultural showcases. We'll be inviting international sporting competition to join us. We'll be sharing knowledge and experiences in order to appreciate each other's cultures. International delegations and official visits. Will be coordinating official visits and delegations to other countries to promote the Kenyan Pythian Games and establish bilateral relations. These visits will involve sports organizations, government officials, private sector, and cultural institutions. And from a global outreach and promotion, we'll leverage digital platforms, social media, and online communities to reach out to international audiences, sports enthusiasts, and cultural aficionados. Engage with international followers, share updates about the Kenyan Pythian Games, and actively encourage the international participation and collaboration. Utilize multilingual communication strategies to overcome language barriers and ensure inclusivity. And by implementing these collaborative strategies, the Kenyan Pythian Games can position itself as an international recognized event that promotes cultural exchange, sports development, and global connections. These collaborations will enrich the event, foster cross-cultural understanding, and create partnerships that extend beyond the duration of the Games. I welcome you all to celebrate and experience Kenya Pythian Games very soon as we share sports, arts, culture, and heritage. Karibu. Welcome.
Can you unmute Mr. Bijender?
Yeah, Josie, till when you will complete your structure, legal structure in Kenya?
We were waiting for the current new government to finalize its own structures so that we can now step in. So I believe from next month, I will be meeting the Minister of Sports and the Minister of Culture and Heritage. I've already sensitized them to the existence of the Pythian Games, and they are very excited of this venture and partnership that we're going to be building. So from next month, I should probably be giving you some updates. Thank you for asking.
Wonderful, wonderful, Joycey. And I would also like to inform everybody here. Joycey is a good friend of the President of Kenya also. So she can do it, I think so. So Rania,
Thank you for the trust. Thank
Yes.
you for the trust you've given me. And indeed, Kenyans would be delighted to be part of this platform.
Wonderful. Thank you,
Yes.
Joycey. Yeah, Rania, please.
We're sure that Joyce can do a wonderful work, and we appreciate her a lot. I know her as a brilliant lady, and we love this environmental also and inclusive perspective of the Kenya vision. I really love this. So thank you very much, Joyce, and now we can move forward to
Janti.
Mr. Janti, yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk, and many things which I have, because I have like 2 pages. So many things which I wanted to say have already been said by Luis Cardoso and by Joyce Mosoy. And I want to thank them for sharing my vision as well, with the peace and the all-inclusiveness and all of that. So I would like to talk a little bit then. First of all, I want to thank you, Agenda, for believing in me when I wasn't really believing in myself that I could do this, and coming back many, many times for me to be part of this. So thank you for this opportunity. And also Rania and Lena, who talked me into this, and Isilda, who said, no, I can't do this without you. So here I am. And I want to talk a little bit about what we did in the poetry, in the first ever poetry and painting competition. It ended up to be just a poetry competition because the painters couldn't connect to the server. They couldn't upload. It was, I don't know what happened there. And it wasn't my department, but what we did and what our concept was for the poetry was to bring in the ancient wisdom and the philosophy and the profound and lasting impact which the Greeks have given to the world in numerous ways. They influenced various aspects of human civilization, in philosophy, in democracy, in governance, in literature, in drama, in science, in mathematics, medicine, art, and architecture. And they shaped it in such a way that it was intellectual, cultural, societal, everywhere. So in order to bring this into the literary competition, the theme we have chosen was to honor basically this and to drag it into the new time. And this is why our theme was ancient wisdom, modern application. I called it, at some point I saw that you by Gender made it ancient wisdom in modern era, which is wonderful extension of that. And we shared first in the social media platforms. In different one, we tried to promote it there, and there was not much going on because it wasn't known, and whatever is not known doesn't inspire much trust. So the secondary thing which we did with Isilda and with Rania is talking how we can get the people actually on, and with you, of course, how can we get the people on? So we tried to get opinion leaders or leaders of states to cooperate with us and to get them to be part of that. And this was also quite difficult until we started saying that, you can be the one who judges the competition, and therefore you can ensure that the best of your country will come to the finals, for instance. And this was a very good technique to get the people on. And this is how we got them finally to, and also, tell your friends. The very simple advertising technique. Tell your friends. If you like it, tell your friends. And this is how we actually got it now to have this kind of numbers that we achieved, and also to extend further than what we actually thought it would be. We started with English, Greek, Spanish, Portuguese, Hindi, Urdu. If I forget one, please tell me. I thought it was 6 languages. But with private talks I had with poets, with important poets, we got also Chinese poets to contribute in English, and also Russian as well as Ukrainian. So this is, and I think this is the beauty of it, because it's not the poets which create the wars. So we should be inclusive about who is taking part, not doing what the Olympic Games are doing, excluding people which are fighting, blaming one or the other, and all of this. So this kind of politics, I think, is not beneficial in the arts, because the arts are peaceful. There are, at the moment, there are 83 or 86 wars fought around the world, and people are blaming each other. So not to blame the artists would be, I think, a key thing, because everybody who is trying to write something is basically dipping into the divine. Whatever you call this, you call it inspirational warp, you call it God, you call it whatever you want to call it. It is a part of the divine which is coming through this in light, in words, in love, in whatever, and they shouldn't be punished for mistakes other people do. Now we are in the phase that the competition has concluded, and the judges are looking forward now to looking at the texts and appointing the winners. Now, our idea of appointing the winners or rewarding the winners was not in a money making prize, but as in ancient times, the winners received just laurel wreaths and got honored with further songs and poems and celebrations. We talked amongst us and said that it would be great to actually have poems published from the winners. We can set a number of poems, for instance, like the winner of Bangladesh is I don't know who, and his 50 poems will be published in an anthology of all the winners, for instance, so that you have actually the fame being the prize for the poet. But I don't know if we're open to discussions and see what we can come up with. So this is basically where we are standing, and we could also in Greece, for instance, as I have a movement for arts and poetry, which is established here, and I'm doing an international poetry festival. I did one last year, and I'm doing one this year. we could basically do it in honor of the Pythian Games to raise awareness, because this festival made last year the news all around the world. Seriously, all around the world. It was in India, it was in Arabic countries, it went to Latin America, to Spanish-speaking countries in general. It was published in Italy, it was published in the English-speaking networks. It went everywhere. So we could raise the awareness through there and say we are doing like a in honor of the Pythian Games, one which is dedicated to Pythian Games, ancient and modern Pythian Games, and spin it like that off so that we raise the awareness. And of course, then through the awareness, get more people in for the next year, which we're gonna be doing, and so on and so on. So this is one of my pearls of wisdom, is I'm collaborating with a Spanish-speaking network, with CIS Art, with a Camerata. I'm collaborating also with the Italian, with a few Italians which have blogs, and many poets are contributing to their pages, so it can be read there. I'm collaborating with the American International Poetry Festival in Rockport, with Robert Whelan, and these are quite a few possibilities to spread at least the literary part of that. In conclusion, I think that it will be like a messenger of the ancient gods, bringing the fame of the Pythian Games and the Delphic oracle to our day-to-day lives. But as we don't need an oracle anymore to read the future for us, we will use our modern technology to educate and entertain the young generation in a sophisticated way, to show them that you can creativity and design something which has depth and meaning and value. So we're looking forward to using the ancient wisdom and applying it into all kinds of art and creativity. And I'm looking forward, together with all of you, to create something magnificent, very much like the meaning of Delphi, to become the Omphalos of the arts, to attract many more people around the world and to participate. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sante. Thank you so much. Really, despite all the challenges, we achieved a great number of participants in the competition with hard work and dedication. And of course, what you said about peace and inclusivity is one of our core values in our movement, but we're trying to promote. Certainly, as you said, we're going to do magnificent things and magnificent work altogether. Especially here in Greece, we have pledged this commitment as Greeks. Thank you very much. Now I will request Dr. Rajesh Srivastava. Are you here? Can you unmute?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. We had a wonderful discussion on various issues, and we had the privilege of listening to everyone what countries have done. I really am amazed that the momentum which started only in 2022 has gone much beyond our expectation. The countries have done remarkably well. We have heard representatives from Portugal, Bangladesh, Kenya, Australia, and Greece, and so many other parts besides India, of course. At this juncture, I would like to just mention one point Lena has mentioned, and I share my views entirely with her. You know, in the post-pandemic era, except few countries, all are struggling on social, economic, or political front. Governments are struggling to, reinventarize their economy. economy has taken a backseat. People have lost lives. People have lost their businesses. People have lost their jobs. And at the most, I think, in my view, what has been lost, they have lost their smile. Now, this Pythian Games will definitely give us an opportunity to bring everyone on the same platform because it has been said it is the convergence and confluence of art, culture, traditional games. So I must say that whereas the countries have gone ahead, to whom we have listened, definitely a lot need to be still done. In my view, some countries have already taken steps to set up their organizational structures very shortly. Some countries are waiting for India to guide them or advise them. They may follow whatever pattern we have followed. But I'm sure the way Kenya has done it, my goodness, they have given the whole lot of activities which they have planned up. Their vision is also very, very elaborate. Now, what I am interested to say that still a lot needs to be done. We have many challenges before us. Task before us is not that easy. Mr. Bijender Goyal has already said, and I think Mr. Asham Khetrapal also has stated that perhaps by 2027 he is putting a possible date that we must hold some sort of international event in Greece. I would say bring it down to 2025. Why to wait 2027? And if we have to do that, we must first create structures, organizational structures at the national level, the state level. Then we should also focus our attention to inventorize traditional activities, arts, games, whatever can be showcased at the national and international platform. We should also make an inventory of artists, artisans, poets, painters, and so many tribal, not tribal, the folk songs, folk artists, folk dancers who are having a very rich tradition in every part of the world. This will help us in creating a common vision for organizing the events at the national level. Then we should also try to inventorize all available physical and social infrastructure in each country. Why it is important that once we identify the events, we identify the artisans, we identify the painters, we identify the participants, then we need the venues. At the last moment, I have seen it becomes very difficult to find suitable venues to organize such type of activities. This is also equally important. Then I must say that in order to organize the programs, what we need, human resource and the financial resource. The human resource would definitely require a pool of jury, the judges, and referees, and the like. Similarly, we may require to have an inventory of all possible talented coaches and trainers because these are required to be done in times to come. We must start working in that direction. Then I am very sure that when we talk of resources, the day our brand is established, there will not be any dearth of finances and money to organize the games. But in the beginning, it is very, very challenging. It is very challenging. So each country head must individually and collectively, I think our international president, I am requesting him also, that we should try to suggest each other, guide each other, collaborate with each other to find ways how to muster resources. It may be through sponsorship, it may be through donors, it may be through government assistance, or it may be through participation fees. Then we can also generate some resources by selling our broadcasting rights to different media partners. I think this is one area where we need to focus individually and collectively. Last but not the least, I must say that we must consider appointing some brand ambassadors who have got national and international recognition for Pythian Games. Each country should have its own brand ambassador, which will add value, and which will create awareness amongst the masses. So much has been said to associate with social media. I am also of the view that we must interact almost on a regular basis with media, with the people, with sports federation, cultural organizations, and also on the social media platform. We should keep talking and creating awareness as to what we propose to do for the times to come. I am sure that with these type of synergies which is being developed today, which has been witnessed by all of us, days are not very far when people will get opportunity to play together, to sing together, to dance together, to celebrate together, and smile together, which is the need of the hour. I must compliment everyone who participated here and congratulate all the members for taking steps forward. My best wishes to the Pythian Games. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rajesh. So we should stop talking and start acting. And it's definitely what we're going to do. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes.
So, Mr. Vijender, now are you ready for the closing remarks?
Yes, thank you, Rania. We had a very wonderful discussion and lovely suggestions from so many friends here. The purpose of today's meeting is just to interact with everyone, because we had our last interaction in the month of September 2022. So it is almost 10 months. In the meantime, we prepared a structure in India. We identified some events for the, as far as the Indian scenario is concerned. We initiated talks with the Indian governments. So we have done a lot of basic things. So now it is a need of the hour to talk to every our partner in different countries and to focus to create organization there in their respective countries. Once they form the organization, then they have to identify their events in their country, and we have to club it at the international level to make it a event in the international at the Pythian Games, so that we can start activities like this. Once we have the organization in every country, we can start the cultural exchange. We can start the inter-country events also. So it will only happen once we'll have a legal shape. I'm really thankful to Mr. Karsh and Prince, who said we will be operation, who told us that their country will be operational as soon as they get the all bylaws and every structure in place, and I'll be sharing everything with them. I also appreciate Mr. Lewis, who want to study and go ahead because he has recently joined the movement. So I think he will be on board very soon with an idea and building an organization. He can also seek the help of his Leda there. She is actively participating with the Pythian movements from last 1.5 years. And Anil Kumarji, as far as is concerned, he is the leader in India. Under his guidance, we are moving ahead, and we have almost spread to 18 countries. 2 states has taken legal shape. They have been formally registered. So we have total 26 states, I think, in India. And out of 26 states, we have now structure in 18 states. So we have now a multi-level structure. We have a ready structure in India under the leadership of Anil Kumar. You will see practical events, physical events very soon, and we will be, I think the TV channels will be making it live also for you, and you can have the idea to implement in your countries. As far as Joycey is concerned and Prince, Joyce is marvelous since beginning. Due to some problem in the Kenyan country, the political problems, I think the things are getting delayed. I hope she will on board with a legal organization soon here, and we want to start activities in Africa also, and starting from Kenya itself. Prince, I am already announcing after India, the Bangladesh is going to be the second country to have a legal structure, national organization there. As far as Jayanti is concerned, Jayanti has done a wonderful work in the international poetry and painting competition. And you know, this is our first experience, Jayanti. Even we have not announced nothing, no prizes. In this event, it is, I was saying to the media, it is on the experimental basis. Now the next event when we will launch it in a professional way. So that you will have more reach. We have started a virtual platform, and it is the first experience globally, because it is not going to be only for the painting or the poetry. It is going for every virtual event in singing and dance and everything. So lot of things are going on still. So it is on experimental basis. And finally, what problem we face, that is the registration of the money. So for 2-3 months we stuck due to the registration fees, because we are unable to accept the foreign exchange, and the peoples were finding it very difficult in registering. So we have to still come out with this problem. And once it is done, I think this will go, this virtual platform will be a turning table for the whole world. It will change the whole scenario, and you will be the leader, Jayanti, in the poetry. And the competition organized by the Pythian Games are well covered by the media. Even this poetry competition was also covered. However, we have not focused much on this event. But next events will be very much focused and will be well publicized in the media also. Lena is always a great support to us. Lena has a big vision. She is attached to us since the beginning of this Pythian movement. Now, I know she keep very busy, but I am assigning her and requesting her to now establish the Pythian Games in the whole region, because now my focus is just to create legal structure in every country. That is most important. Once you have the legal structure, the money will automatically flow to you. I'm sure about it. But for that, you have to create a legal structure. Without legal structure, you cannot get grants, you cannot get sponsorship, you cannot get any funding. So just in the name of Pythian Games, you cannot work there. You need a legal structure in every country, number one. Number two, how to interact with the governments, because there are so many technical problems. One side you have the Olympics. If you are handling with the sports, then how you are going to speak to your governments? I will tell you, because if you go to the government will say, no, you have the conflict with the International Olympic Committee. That we have to convince the national government we don't have any competition or any conflict with the International Olympic Committee or the International Cricket Committee. You see, if you talk about cricket, the cricket for disabled, it is not in the charter of the ICC as well as the IOC. So there is no competition. And if you talk about the traditional games are the promoting the traditional game is the agenda of the United Nations. And there is no single platform in the world which is promoting the traditional games. So we can be the only that apex platform, and you can convince your government. So we did the same in Indian government and moving the file. So ultimately, this is my only request to all of you to give a legal structure to your organization or wherever you have the contact in any country, and ask them to reach to us to join hands. And Rania is always a gift of God Apollo to me. I always say, because it is Rania who connected me to the Greece. So this is a real fact, and everybody knows. Now she has taken the charge of this talk show, the discussion show every week. We have spoken to a TV channel here in India. We had to come out with the outcome, how we will be promoting our channels. So we are thinking on this line to now have our own media platform, our own mouthpiece, so that we can speak about our country and other countries, like in the form of news or TV channel or news format. So I think it's again today is a historical meeting, and this is the first episode of this our conversation of the Modern Pythian Game. I wish you all the best. Thank you very much for joining us today, Rania.
Okay, yes, it's a historical event, and undoubtedly the progress of Modern Pythian Games is spectacular. But this is just the beginning. We need thoughtful planning on how we can spread this movement through national chapters, through finding collaborative institutions, because collaboration is multiplication. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to congratulate Modern Pythian Games for the organization of this very enriching global virtual conference. I would like to thank all eminent guests from different parts of the world, and of course, Mr. Bigender Panos Kaltsis, who are the two visionaries, initiators, and the soul of this movement. And I would like to close this conference by reminding you the core values of our movement: culture, peace, environment, and collaboration. So we renew our appointment with the audience for a new conference next week with new guests also and other important and interesting topics on Modern Pythian Games. Thank you all very much. Thank you.